Hi, I'm Chantel Rodriguez with Millcreek Township,
And I'm Jessica Stutzman.
and you're watching the Millcreek Government Channel. Today we're chatting with Patrick Barber, Senior Vice President at the Barber National Institute. They're here to share how their programs help individuals of all abilities live fuller and more independent lives.
Can you share the story of the founding behind the Barber National Institute and how its original mission continues to shape the work that you do today?
Yeah, so the organization was started actually, it was in the late 40s, early 50s. And so it was my great aunt Gertrude, who was an administrator at the Erie School District. And not only was she the only female in the Erie School District administration, she was the only person in the Erie School District administration with a PhD. And she got that from Penn State. And her job at the time was to inform families that if you had a child with intellectual disabilities, you had two options, which was either to keep your child at home or to send your child downstate to Philadelphia. And these were not places that you wanted to send your child. She wasn't doing that for too long before she decided that she couldn't break these families up anymore, and there needed to be a better solution to keep the children here and to find a way to educate these children. And so she started in the basement of a YWCA here in Erie with mothers and parents. And we had a classroom that began in 1952. And that's how it all began. So we're originally a school. Since then, we've expanded. Those children grew up, and there needed to be adult services. And so, now our largest service that we provide is our residential services. We have 296 individuals across Pennsylvania. We're now in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh as well. Of course, we still continue to have our school. We serve about 135 to 140 children from over 20 school districts in Northwest PA. And there's certainly a myriad of other services we provide now too. Behavioral health services, in-home services. And so kind of where we're at now, we have about 3,000 employees, and we'll serve about 5,000 unique individuals annually. And so we really do, we always talk about legacy and what Dr. Barber started. She started this for the right reason. She didn't have children of her own. These were her children. And so we always call the individuals, children and adults, Dr. Barber's special children. And still to this day, in my opinion, like that's still something that resonates with me. I actually personally knew her, thankfully. But for those that didn't, we try to bring her to life. That, this is not just something that's not attainable. Like really in the end, like we're just people trying to find a way to provide the best services we possibly can and give people an independent life, and give hope to families. And that's really what this is about.
It sounds like she had such a beautiful soul, and she just couldn't do that to families, couldn't, continue to, she wanted to keep them together, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree. She was, and she was one of 10 children, which at that, during those times, I think that was like average family size. Yeah, the norm. But, her mother worked every day, all day. Actually, I think now it's where the Erie Club is. It was it used to be the Reed Mansion, and so she was a servant at the Reed Mansion. But her mother kept the family together, right? And so like that was something that Gertrude and her siblings grew up knowing family, and she couldn't stand to do this to families, and also just to give the message that there was no hope for these children or these people. In her opinion, especially her being a very religious person, Irish Catholic background, it was not something that she was willing to accept, that people were not hopeless. We really, deserve dignity, all of us, and we all have opportunity to be the best version of ourselves.
Very true.
So true.
And, you're talking about from Erie to across the strait, like how the Barber Institute has grown over the years, and the services that you guys offer has just exponentially gotten bigger. But it's clear that I'm wanting to say your staff plays a really big role in what they do and the role that is impacting the community. So can you talk about what it means to invest in your employees and the ways that you're supporting their growth and development with that?
Absolutely. I can't say enough about our staff. The reality is, more or less, I kind of view myself as like maybe the mouthpiece of the organization, and I'm very grateful for having this position. But at the same time, like I don't fool myself. Like, the people that are doing the direct care, they're the ones that are really driving the mission every day, that are living it, and they deserve all the credit. And so that is something that we as an organization take very seriously. And so we, especially as of post-COVID, the last several years, there's professional credentialing that we're having our staff attain, especially the direct service professional staff within the residential and life sharing programs. And then we have other types of learning and development that we're investing into. We're growing that part of our organization intentionally because we recognize that there's a lot of people that are coming to us or want to work for us, but maybe have never dealt with people with intellectual disabilities, or perhaps they're coming from just different industries that weren't human service providers. And it's different, like, this is not stand at the cash register or, put part A into part B and create a widget. Like, you're dealing with complicated people with feelings and emotions and dreams and behaviors and things that you can't really predict. There's no cookie cutter way to do this. So it's more about coaching and teaching empathy, emotional intelligence, and ultimately, in the end, I think it's trying to get people to recognize and realize that it's about making the best decision that you can in the moment. Understandably, that it's not, you don't know all the factors, but just trying to have people make the right decision. And honest to God, I believe that the vast majority of our people are doing that every single day right now. As we're talking, we got people making decisions about our individuals, for individuals, helping our individuals make decisions themselves. And I do believe that we do the best we can to make sure that we're with the individual top of mind, that we're trying to keep them safe, happy, and healthy.
Mm-hmm. And I think there is something really to be said for, again, reinvesting in your employees through trainings and, continuing education and things like that. One, I think they already have that skill set. That's probably why you hired them. And then doing the trainings and things like that either reinforces what they already know deep inside of them, or gives them a couple extra tools in their tool belt. Like, they were on the right path. They just needed, that shift in mindset, or that just a way to frame that sentence, and then just keep being, the incredible human being that they are. So I want to kind of segue here into, you're a top 10 employer in Erie County, and that's no small feat. How does the scale in terms of, your day-to-day operations, or, again, doing things like this, reaching out to the community, how does this all play a role in how you operate? Yeah,
well, I guess to start there, I mean, I'm standing on the shoulders of legends and giants that came before me, and all the people that, we have people that work there 40, in some cases 50 years, that really, I mean, they carried the torch. I think for us, scale is just, in my opinion, a measurement maybe of doing the right thing. We're a little bit different than maybe other providers, and we're a provider. Scale's not the end goal here. It's to provide the highest quality service for the individual. And if we just so happen to grow while we do that, and I'll give an example. I mean, Philadelphia, Gertrude didn't push into Philadelphia. It was actually the state that called her. She had no plans of going down there and having people work down there, but they called her and they saw what she was doing up here in Erie and asked her. This was the late 70s, early 80s. Would you come and serve these people that no one else would serve? Yeah. And so she agreed to it. And so that's really been our growth. And so I really think it's more commentary on our growth is just a byproduct of, in my opinion, doing the right thing and doing it in a sustainable fashion. Because I want this to be a place where people can have jobs and have jobs for a lifetime. And you can only do that if you're doing it sustainably.
Yeah, and even being a top 10 employer, you've also been recognized for your excellence in behavioral health services across Pennsylvania. Again, no small feat. So what sets you apart from this approach in this area? What makes you guys different?
That's a great question. I think there's so many great providers, even right here in our backyard. And I kind of see us more as like, we're willing to learn, right? Like I am not too proud, and we are not too proud to look at another provider and see them doing something great and say, wow, okay, how do we do that? And I think really it's being honest with ourselves, looking at ourselves and saying, this is where we're not doing so well, or this is where we can improve. That is hard for a lot of people. I think a lot of folks want to believe that, everything we do is, the best. And I think that we do a lot of things maybe in that fashion, but it's impossible, not everything, right? So I think it's constantly, looking at what can we improve, and being honest about that. And then, calling a spade, and then let's get over that pain and figure it out.
And what a wonderful compliment for your work to make it all the way down to Philadelphia, and for them to reach out to her and say, bring your services down here. That's such a compliment to be recognized across the state like that. And the Barber National Institute's implemented some powerful tools and programs recently. Things like Station MD and electronic medical records are helping your teams, provide, essential care. Can you touch on some of those programs? Yeah,
no doubt. I think technology is it's such a blessing to us, and we're not afraid to use it. Station MD is a great example. This is basically a teledoc service where, without getting too far into the weeds, there's certain, if there's a certain event that occurs to one of our individuals, we are by law required to take them to see a doctor, right? And it could literally be like, let's say pink eye, right? You and I might not go to the ER for that, but we have to present. But this is a huge, we got to kind of split the house up. Now, one of the staff has to take the individual to the ER. We could be sitting there for 4 or 5 hours because, people are getting titrated ahead of us because they've got more serious things. So the teledoc service for Station MD has been great. We now can just get on the iPad in the house, be on with the doc. We're done in 20 minutes. The prescription's sent over to the pharmacy. We go pick it up, done. So it really saves a lot of time. The staff can't say enough good things about it. The individuals and families, very positive. So that's just one example of like using technology to create convenience. And then, the electronic medical health record. So we've had an EHR for some time. We've recently implemented, literally in the last couple months, this is medical administration records. So for those in the healthcare space, this is pharmaceuticals. But it's helping us with tracking, right? And when people are taking the drugs that they need, how much, and then the healthcare system can be siloed in a lot of ways. And so this is trying to marry maybe the prescription that's written to real time, so that the people in the house that are about to pass the med, maybe something has changed in the last couple hours that they were unaware of. This system is now set up to give them the real-time update, like, hey, this has changed, don't pass that, or there's a different dosage, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really a health and safety, but I think these are just things that, like, when you get into the weeds of what we do, like, that it's really important stuff, and it's for the individuals.
And I'm sure avoiding, again, like you said, we might not go for pink eye or something of that nature, but spending hours upon hours is stressful, to the individual. It's stressful to your staff. It's stressful to the family. So I think avoiding that and having, again, new technology I think puts everybody at a greater level of ease and comfort and care. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because we talk about training, and then it's also training staff of like, okay, this is when station MD is appropriate, and this is when you should go to the ER, right? But that's been very successful because we always err on the side of safety. And so if there's even a question, we present at the ER, and I think that, but I also believe we're trying to help the hospital systems too. I mean, like, they get inundated, and there can be big rushes. And so this is helping to disperse some of that. And then people that are in more serious need, they can see a doctor faster.
Yeah, and I know this is probably taking quite a bit of a turn here, but healthy relationships curriculum and the talks of, helping your clients and giving them the education that they need. Why was this developed, and how is it making a difference for young people with autism?
Yeah, I think there's so many different positives that can be gained from this. I think maybe things that what I'll say the typical population might take for granted, just your ability to kind of discern social cues and things like that. Those in the autistic population, it might not come naturally to them. And so a lot of this education is around teaching social cues, but ultimately the point of it is so that there's, just like we kind of described, a healthy relationship that you're having with the people around you. I think there's certainly a lot of misunderstanding of people that are diagnosed with autism. It's a very broad spectrum. But the individuals that really utilize this service and this curriculum are people that, like I said, it doesn't come naturally to them, and we just break it down to digestible bits, and we build them up. Because the other thing too is these individuals and these children want to be liked, and they want to have friends, and they want to be a part of the community. And I think a lot of people may not understand that. And so this is really giving them the building blocks to socialize and to be a part of the community.
Yeah, in a way, it's helping them be a part of society as well as becoming more independent, whether it's a grocery store list that they want to go to the grocery store and they might not feel comfortable doing it, but I feel like that's why you educate the people that are working with them to really give them the ability to work independently like that.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And I think there's so much opportunity too on the other side of teaching the community about what is autism and what does that mean, because there's so much that the individuals would like to participate in that maybe they're at this point it's just not in the cards, but it can be. It really can be.
Yeah. And I know our show is coming to a close, so I know we've got a couple more things that we want to ask you, so I don't want to rapid fire, but I've got a couple questions I'm hoping we can get in the next couple minutes. So we heard that you've adapted some of your kitchen spaces for accessibility, and can you tell us what makes the adaptive kitchen so special? Yeah,
I've never seen an adaptive kitchen before, but this was a request by many parents of our school. We asked them, what do you want your child to learn? And this came up a lot. We would love for them to learn how to cook. Literally as basic as toast. In some instances, maybe how to make an omelet. And so we have incorporated that. These are life skills, things that everybody should know how to do. And we have big plans for this going in the future. Right now, we're doing it with our school children, but we think, why stop there? We can expand this to the adults, and I'm excited about this.
I think, and I'll just say one quick thing here, and then I'll let you ask your next question, but cooking fosters such good relationships and talking and communicating. So I think you start with cooking, and then it just keeps branching off from there. So that's my 2 cents, but go ahead and ask your next question.
I think with my last question, Barber, Beast on the Bay is going to be the last one.
Beast on the Bay. It's the last one we're going to have. And this really does, all of this directly benefits the organization. All of the money that is raised, that is net profit from the event, goes right back into the general funds that we use for all of our children and adults. we'll reinvent ourselves in some other fashion in the future. There's lifetimes on events and things like that. So I know a lot of folks in the community, they're sad to see this go, but I really think this is, it's been 12 wonderful years. We're so grateful to everyone that's ever come out and participated or been a part of this in any fashion.
There's so much potential for so many other events that this one is just like the stepping stone. You've had 12 great years with it, and now it's for something on like bigger, I feel. For you guys.
No doubt. Maybe so. I mean, you guys are aware. I mean, we're on the state park, so we're dealing with DCNR. We're dealing with Millcreek Township, and wonderful to deal with all these entities. But I mean, these obstacle course races are tough to put on, and doing it where we're doing it is a challenge. But we try to make sure that we are responsible citizens, that we are cleaning up after ourselves, and so But man, it's a beautiful venue. Prescott, you can't beat that.
Yeah. Well, Patrick, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know I learned so much that I didn't already know, and I'm so glad we got to share that with our viewers. So I wanted to thank you for coming on
Thank
the
you.
show
I really
today.
appreciate you having me.
Well, we would love to have you back as well. So I just want to throw that out there because I know we were speeding up some of our questions here at the end. So we'd love to have you back.
Great. Okay.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you again to the Barber National Institute for joining us. To learn more or get involved, visit barberinstitute.org. And as always, thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel. Until next time, have a great day.